Come on in, pull up a chair, and take a load off because today I'll be sharing a first look and page through of the Pendragon 6th edition Quickstart from Chaosium Inc. And we'll draw the sword from the stone right after this. Howdy, 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 gang. Welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host here at the Gaming Gang channel. As I mentioned in the open, today I am going to take a first look and page through the Pendragon 6th edition Quick Start from Chaosium Inc. Do want to mention this was available physically at Gen Con over at the Chaosium booth. I got to be honest, I don't know how you might be able to get your hands on this physical booklet, but this quick start is coming very, very shortly in PDF, and you will be able to download it from the Chaosium website. Took a peek this morning. Unfortunately, it is not there just yet. Should also mention, if you have not caught my Gen Con interview with Michael O'Brien from Chaosium Inc., give it a watch. We talk about the new edition of Pendragon, which is arriving next year, as well as all things Call of Cthulhu and RuneQuest, and even the upcoming Rivers of London role-playing game as well. I'll toss a card up there so you can click on that if you want to check that interview out. All right, let's swing on over to the other camera because here I've got the quick start itself. I'll be the first to point out, I have not taken a peek at this at all. This is the first time I'm getting an opportunity to take a peek inside. And I am super excited because Pendragon, I have been told by both Michael O'Brien as well as Rick Meintz over the years that Pendragon was actually what Greg Stafford considered to be his ultimate design. And that's saying a lot because the late great Greg Stafford was also the mastermind behind RuneQuest and the fantastic Glorantha setting. So that's saying a lot. So let's take a look at the back here. In the time of King Arthur, what kind of knight will you be? It is an age of chivalry, an age of adventure and fantasy. It is the age of Pendragon. The Adventure of the Sword Tournament is a complete scenario and special preview of the rules for Pendragon 6th edition. Within, you'll find a ready-to-play scenario, allowing you and your players to partake in the epic moment when an unknown backcountry squire draws the sword from the stone. A rules overview covering traits, passions, skills, and combat. 5 pre-generated player knights, and a primer on the city of Londinium, the setting for the scenario. Adventure awaits with Pendragon 6th edition. All right, let's jump on in. Well, it's got a pretty cool look to it so far, I'll tell you that much. So I had the first edition of Pendragon. In fact, that was back in the day. Anything came out from Chaosium, I gobbled it up. Didn't matter if it was Call of Cthulhu, which I've run for 4 decades, or it could be RuneQuest, Super World, all of that. And I remember picking up Pendragon and thinking to myself, wow, this is really unique. And it truly is. It is a very unique system as far as role playing games go because your player characters have traits, essentially virtues and vices. And you'll have different ratings in them. And if you're trying to go against the nature of your character, you have to succeed in rolling dice. If I remember correctly, I think Pendragon only used 20-sided dice and 6-sided dice. I might be wrong because it's been actually quite a long time since I've taken a peek at Pendragon. I think the last edition I actually peeked at was 3rd. So that was a while ago. So here we start off with the rules preview. So we've got glory and honor, our resolution system. So it is utilizing a D20, and you might have some bonuses as well. So a critical success is exactly the target value, often confers an additional benefit beyond success. Success is less than the target value. Failure is higher than the target value. So right there's a little bit of an old school sort of aspect to the game because you're looking at this is your attribute, this is your trait, your skill, so on and so forth, and you need to roll under it. So higher numbers are good as far as higher scores for your attributes. So we've got failures higher than the target number, and a natural 20 is a fumble, a spectacular failure causing problems. And then we have an opposed resolution system as well. We'll mention that I am going to share a full look at this quick start. Normally, when I do a first look and I do a page through of a role playing game product, I skip a lot of pages. In this case here, I'm going to share everything with you because this is going to be available as a free PDF anyway. So I highly doubt Michael O'Brien or Rick Mintz or any the rest of the gang at Chaosium would be upset if I share this with you. So we've got our characteristics look like they are kind of our traditional Chaosium attributes. We've got size, dexterity, strength, constitution, and appeal. So instead of charisma, we have appeal, and that measures natural charm, presence, and physical attractiveness. No intelligence rating? Question mark. No characteristics cover quantifying intelligence or any form of cleverness or wisdom. Traits and passions are the measure of human emotions. Characteristics represent general attributes of the body. Skills measure specific and necessary cultural knowledge. Otherwise, characters know the minimum they need to function in their cultures and professions. When player knowledge is lacking, game masters should take a moment to explain things the character would naturally know as a person of their culture, time, and place. Talking about traits and passions. So, arranged in pairs of virtues and flaws. So, I said virtues and vices. Traits determine a character's personality and may affect their actions. The higher the trait value, the stronger the expression of that trait. Traits over 15 are considered famous and push the character toward acting in a manner consistent with that trait more often than not. Traits of 20 or greater are considered exalted. Guess we're talking Lancelot here. And cause a character act in a manner consistent with that trait at all times. Passions are used to give a bonus to skills or traits. They may be invoked when the object of the passion is in danger or seems to be, or when the character wishes to act in accordance with the passion. For example, love, family, may be used when a member of the player knight's family is threatened. Each passion may only be called upon once per day with an unopposed roll, providing a bonus to a single skill or trait, with the effects lasting until the end of the current situation or after an hour of time passes. So, talking about trait rolls in the game, passion rolls as well. I really dug the traits in previous editions of Pendragon because you could look at your character sheet and know pretty much exactly the sort of knight that you were portraying. So we've got using skills and combat. So the combat round procedure is declare combat actions, resolve combat actions, winner's outcome, loser's outcome, and combat movements. That's some pretty cool artwork there. We actually have height advantage. And of course, these rules are going to be far more in depth in the new edition of Pendragon. but you're getting a good feel for the rules there. So we get into the adventure, and one aspect of Pendragon that is very, very famous is the Pendragon campaign, which is incredible. It is from Uther Pendragon through the death of Arthur, and it is in depth. It allows your player characters to actually play throughout Le Mort d'Arthur and other famous aspects of the Arthurian legend. And it is a tremendous accomplishment. It is really, really cool. I have seen it. I have never read the entire thing, but I have paged through it. And it has always struck me as being one of those sorts of campaigns that you really need to play at least once in your life, such as Massive Nyarlathotep or Enemy Within. It really does strike me as something that would be just phenomenal to take part in. Also, another aspect of Pendragon that I'm going to assume is still going to be in the sixth edition is that there is an epicness to the actual play. So you'll have knights who have families and you will have different generations. And that aspect is very cool as well. So it is a bit of a, depending on how your game master is going to run your campaign, there may be a legacy sort of aspect to it. And I find that to be really, really interesting. In fact, if you are playing the Pendragon campaign, which I have to assume that we will see ported over for sixth edition, you will certainly engage in the generational play. So we've got a bit of a background on Londinium, which of course at that point in time is the city of London. It is the tournament of the sword. This is where Arthur draws the sword from the stone, which takes place during a tournament. And he is simply a squire to his brother Kay. And here it turns out he is the true king. A great commotion. So it looks as if this is played out more as scenes, which is something that we see quite a bit of now in role playing games. So it looks as if we have kind of different acts in the adventure itself. Of course, you're going to have a little bit of combat and that because it is a tournament. So here are the melee encounters. So we have, looks like we've got three. And then here it looks like we've got our pre-gens. So there are five pre-gens. So you may not be able to necessarily see this very well on camera. But as far as traits, we've got chaste and lustful. So they're two sides of the same coin here. Energetic, lazy, forgiving, vengeful, generous, selfish, honest, deceitful, just, arbitrary, merciful, cruel, modest, proud, prudent, reckless, spiritual, worldly, temperate, indulgent, trusting, suspicious, glorious, and cowardly. Some of the passions we have honor, homage, Lord, love, family, devotion, God, station, hospitality, skills, awareness, battle, compose. That is actually you would composing like poems to a lady and things like that. So that's what composing is. Courtesy, dancing, falconry, first aid, flirting, folklore, gaming, horsemanship, hunting, intrigue, literacy, orate, play, instrument, recognize, religion, sing, and stewardship. So I'm not sure if those are going to be all of the skills. One thing I will point out, I recall Pendragon didn't have a huge, extensive list of skills, not like, say, Call of Cthulhu would. And it looks as if these are all the skills looks very similar with our pre-gens. We also do see that we have female knights. So some people will maybe take umbrage to that. I don't see a huge problem because it's a fantasy game, right? Come on. We're not necessarily sitting here trying to simulate the medieval world. It is a game of fantasy, even though it takes place in Camelot and the period of King Arthur. All right. So, pretty decent length quick start, I would say. Obviously enough, I'm not going to review this. I mean, it is a quick start. But as I mentioned, stay tuned. As soon as this is available as a free PDF, I will certainly be putting up a news piece about it. And obviously enough, when 6th edition Pendragon arrives, stay tuned because I will be sharing coverage of that as well. So let's swing on over to the other camera and I will wrap up. So that's it. This looks pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. And other aspect I should point out, as far as with Pendragon, at least in the past, it's not a very complex rule system. Once you have the core mechanics of that 20-sided die, and if I remember right, I think 6-sided dice are used in combat for, I think it's for damage, if I remember correctly. But once you get that mechanic down of the traits and the skills and the passions, it's very, very easy to just get off and running. Very, very easy. Not a lot of studying of mechanics and rules and things like that. All right. So that's it for this time out. If you like this video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you do subscribe, ding the bell. It'll not only let you know when I upload videos such as this first look and page through, it'll also inform you when my live stream, the Gaming Gang Dispatch, airs Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday evenings at 7 p.m. Central, right here on YouTube. And of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all latest in tabletop gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more that you're not going to find here on the YouTube channel. All right. Thank you very much for taking time out to take a peek at this video. And here's hoping each and every one of you get to enjoy plenty of great gaming with your gang. Oh, hey, you're still here. Well, if that's the case, by all means, subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel by clicking right here. Check out the latest episode of the Gaming Gang Dispatch, or find out what YouTube recommends you check out from the channel. And of course, once again, I'm Jeff McAleer. Thanks for watching.